Welcome to another episode of Plant-Based Kristin. This is episode 8, and tonight what we are making are lentil salsbury steaks with a mushroom and onion sauce, and then I've got some asparagus here that I prepped, and those are going to go on the side along with some homemade mashed potatoes. I got the cooked potatoes chilling there in the pot. So what you haven't seen, this is a great meal. It's really good for omnivores and for vegans alike because it's very filling. You don't really feel like you're missing any meat because the lentil steaks kind of cover that for you. I've got my pans heating. So the lentil steaks themselves are 2 cups of lentils, and I just cook them in water for about I let it boil and then I cook it for about 15 minutes. And then once the steaks are done, you then put them in a big bowl, you mash them so that they still have a little bit of the texture, but that they're also going to be a little sticky, and that'll help, keep everything together. And then you add breadcrumbs. What did I add? Breadcrumbs, salt, pepper, some soy sauce, some liquid smoke, and was that it? I think that was it, but I'm gonna put the recipe in the comments, so don't worry about that. But that is the steaks themselves. The more that you mix it, the tougher they're gonna get. So you want to just make sure that they're good consistency to where they're gonna stick together. But you don't want it to be like super tough either, but chances are your hand will probably get tired anyway before you get to that point. So there are the steaks. This recipe makes about 6 of them. And I think we're ready to start cooking. So I'm going to take a little bit of oil, about a tablespoon, and put it into this pan. Spread it around. And this pan is pretty nice and hot, so we're going to cook the steaks. As many will fit in the pan, only for about 2 to 3 minutes each. I'm going to just turn that off for a minute. Alright. Very carefully. There's one. I'm going to cook 3 at a time is what I'm going to do. And we're going to do a timer for 3 minutes there. So with the asparagus itself, all I'm going to do is just put a little bit of oil, salt, and pepper, and that's going to be it for the asparagus. So I'm actually going to do it right here on this plate that I've got them sitting in. Can you guys see what's going on there? Kind of. Alright. A little bit of oil, salt and pepper. Salt, pepper, I'm going to kind of mix it up a little bit so that everything gets all of the flavoring. Try not to fling stuff here. Looks pretty good there. I've got a minute on the steaks. Alright, let's throw these bad boys on. Here. I'm just going to do like a layer of the asparagus. Give it a little more. Can I fit them all? I might be able to fit them all in this pan. Maybe not. We'll just do that much. Asparagus. And we're just rolling the asparagus. I like to keep my asparagus pretty simple. space here. Let's get another plate. So when they're cooked, we're going to take them off the heat and then use the same pan to make the gravy in. So. Flipping. And they've got a nice char on them already. See? We're only going to do 2 minutes on these. So asparagus does not take long to cook. And I poke the very bottom of each piece with a fork. And as soon as that fork pierces it easily, then you know it's done. And they're starting to get brown, so I know they're close. Grab a fork. Start poking. That guy's done. That guy's done. The asparagus on high, I have the steaks on medium high, just so you guys know. Steaks are probably good. And you just want to check them to make sure that they've got a little color on each side. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. Yeah, a little bit of color. Alright, we're going to add a little bit more oil, another tablespoon, I'm sorry. And throw the other 3 steaks on this. Let's check this asparagus though. The asparagus might be done. Alright, let's throw these bad boys on. Actually, we're going to do 2 because they cook really fast. Let me show you where I'm poking this asparagus. Right on the end. Make sure that you can pierce it with a fork without too much effort. Now we still need a little more time. Those still need a little bit more time. That looks good. Add the rest of this asparagus. I'm keeping the asparagus kind of separate, the new ones that I just added, so that I can keep track of which ones have cooked longer and which ones haven't. because this group over here is probably almost done. Flipping the steaks. Ooh, it's getting smoky in here. Alright, asparagus. Alright. That. Flipping. One thing that's really nice to do with the asparagus is once you're done with it is to, if you have fresh lemon, to grate a little bit of the lemon peel and put some lemon zest on top of it. I don't have that, but I do have. My ex used to call it squeezy lemon, and I kind of just kept calling it that, but basically it's just lemon juice in a little container, and I'm going to squirt some of that right on top once it's all done. So asparagus is super fast. It does not take long at all. You can also steam it too. That's a slightly healthier option as opposed to adding the oil to it. Steaks are done. Now you're going to add the steaks back into the pan once the gravy is made, so you don't necessarily have to keep them warm. Alright, a little more oil, maybe another tablespoon, I'm sorry. Our asparagus is probably done. Yeah, we're done. Nope, that one piece is still a little tough. We'll leave that guy on there. Hold on one moment. Oh, we were still recording the whole time. Never mind. So our fire alarms here are very sensitive, and I set them off all the time when I'm cooking. And usually I close doors and stuff, but I forgot to tonight, so that's what that was. I'm sure this guy's done now. Yeah. Okay. So I got a little oil in this pan. Now we're going to saute. Normally the recipe just calls for mushrooms, but I'm going to do mushrooms, mushrooms and garlic, and I'm going to add onion to it because I just think that sounds really good on top of steaks. I got these mini tongs from Bed Bath & Beyond. I love them. I'm just kind of breaking up the onion as I'm cooking here. And we're just going to cook these until they get a little bit soft, you know. So yeah, there's no real vent up here in my ceiling. There's only like this really small vent, as opposed to like most kitchens should have like a full air vent. Well, I don't have that here. And so the smoke just goes down my hallway, which is exactly where all of my fire alarms are located. So. And once that's all done, I'm going to put it in a bowl to sit, because then we're going to make the gravy. We're going to take the onions and the mushrooms out. We're going to make the gravy. Then we're going to add everything back together, including the steaks. Alright, so now I'm going to take all this out. Just put it into a bowl to chill out while I'm making the gravy. Now, I'm going to lower the heat to low. When you're making gravy, you cook gravy on low. I don't know why, I just always have, but I imagine because it's so delicate, if you cook it too fast, you probably get chunks or something like that, and you don't want that. So, I'm just going to give it a minute to cool down. But let's try one of these asparagus because they look really good. Let me show you my potatoes too. So they're just roasted red skin potatoes. I boiled them until they were fork tender, and they're just chilling here. Let's actually do that right now. So we're going to do some vegan butter, we're going to do some almond milk, and then garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper, and that's how we're going to season these potatoes here. I don't really measure anything, I'm pretty bad when I'm not following a recipe. And we're going to melt with a fork. So I don't have a potato masher. I don't own one, actually. I should get one of those. I'm just going to kind of push so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Just going to push these potatoes to hand mash them maybe. Little elbow grease. I kind of like my mashed potatoes a little chunky anyway, so this hopefully will be fine. I made this exact meal for my parents when I was up in upstate New York. I didn't record it because it was my first time ever trying to make it, but it turned out so good. And then my mom was talking about it yesterday. Yesterday was my mom's birthday, and I called her to wish her a happy birthday, and when we were talking, she was saying how she wants me to make it again the next time that I'm up in New York visiting them. And then it got me craving it, so I was like, well, that's what I'll do this week on Plant-Based Kristin. I'll make the Salisbury lentil steaks, and I'll make the mashed potatoes, I'll make the asparagus. Whoops, with my eating stuff. I really should invest in a potato masher if I'm going to do homemade potatoes, huh? My parents had one, so that made it easy. Oh, I'll just break it apart like that. There we go. Work smarter, not harder, right? So instead of like mashing them, I'm just basically breaking them apart, and then we're going to mash them once they're in smaller chunks, because that'll be easier for me to manage. So yeah, one of these times in future videos, what I have planned is I want to do a wonton soup for one of my episodes. I did make this lo mein the other night, and that turned out really good, so I'll probably do that. I made this Cajun pasta, that turned out pretty good. So that'll probably be in a future episode. But yeah, like I said, guys, if you want me to try anything, even if I've never tried it before, put it in the comments. I am open to trying new things. And I remember when I first went vegan, I used to eat some really boring stuff, actually. My first month that I was vegan, I kind of lost my enthusiasm for food, which was really sad for me because I'm a huge foodie. So, I thought it was really interesting. So like that first month that I was vegan was really rough. And then I started getting ideas, and I started getting cravings, and I don't know, something like clicked in me where I was like, well, why don't I just try and make a vegan version of this? Let's just, you know, look it up online, see if it exists. And a bunch of stuff did. And so I think vegan pho was one of the first things that I made. And I just kind of like went from there. But, you know, it kind of made me feel bad for other vegans out there who, you know, don't really get any ideas for dinner, or who are always eating salads or fruits or stuff, you know. It can definitely be a lot more fun and a lot more interesting than that. So I was talking to my best friend Lisa, and she was the one who actually suggested that I start this show. So she's the whole reason that I started all this. But anyway, I was like, yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense, and I'm all about helping, you know, other people that are vegan, you know, figure out yummy stuff to eat, and how, like, teach them how to cook it, because not a lot of people, some people become vegan and they don't know how to cook at all, and it's really hard to find foods or in restaurants that are going to accommodate a vegan diet. And then you have to worry about cross-contamination too, and for some people, it literally makes them sick as soon as they stop eating dairy, as soon as they stop eating meat. You know, it can physically make you ill, which is not good. So a lot of vegans do cook at home. So for those vegans that don't know how to cook, I kind of figured I could help them with that too. So if there are any tutorial videos too, even like anything that I don't show in these videos and you want me to show, you know, even just like prepping asparagus, for instance, I can always do like short videos of me prepping stuff, if you guys want that as well. So just, you know, let me know what you want me to offer you guys, and as long as I'm able to, I will. So these potatoes are finally starting to get somewhere. And I'm definitely investing in a potato masher probably this weekend. So, alright. But yeah, I've been eating vegan for about 5 months now. And I mean, I've been loving it. It's just everything I'm eating is so much more digestible. It's easier for my body to break down. My hair and skin got better. I slimmed down a little bit. Not that I was huge to begin with, but that was kind of cool. And yeah, and I get to try all these like new fun things in the kitchen. So it's almost like, it's so funny because people think that, you know, when they hear the word vegan, they just think of all the food that they can't eat. But being vegan actually opened up like a whole new world to me. I've never tried lentil steaks before. You know, this is something I probably wouldn't ever consider eating. But now that I'm vegan, it's actually great and fun, and it's delicious. So, alright, it definitely needs more. There's a lot of potato going on here. So we're gonna add some more butter and some more milk, so we can get a nice consistency going on here. For those who've never tried vegan butter, it's basically like margarine. So if you're used to margarine, that's basically what, to me, I could not taste the difference between vegan butter and margarine. They taste the same. Getting a little creaminess going on here. And I love bringing food in for all of my friends who aren't plant-based, and I love having them try it. And they're usually like, wow, you know, I always thought vegan food was so disgusting, but it really isn't. It can be delicious. Okay, I can tell by looking at this, it definitely needs more seasoning. We're gonna do some more garlic powder. We're gonna do some more onion powder. We're gonna do some salt and pepper because I never added that to here. I'm gonna go light on the salt until I try this. Okay, that was not so light, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I like a lot of pepper, but I might be sharing this later with some friends, so we're gonna go a little light on everything. These look pretty freaking awesome. Alright, let's try. Try a little bit. So good. What do I need? We're gonna do some more butter. Definitely more butter. A little more salt. And no more pepper because I'm feeling peppery tonight. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to eat all this. Yeah, I've been craving this. So it's actually, even though I'm going to post this on Wednesday, it's actually Monday night right now for me. So I've been craving this ever since I talked to my mom about it last night. Actually, I've been craving it ever since I had it at their place a month ago when I first made it because it was so awesome. And everything that I was making for them, I was expecting there to be leftovers, and there weren't any. We ended up pretty much eating everything each night. So, alright, now let's try this. It's so good. Okay. Good there. Mashed potatoes are done. Cover this. I'm going to put this on low to keep it warm. Okay. So we have our oil. Actually, the oil has, we're going to add a little bit more. Just a tad. I don't want a ton of oil in here. Okay. So we've got our burner over here that's still on low. And I've got 3 tablespoons of vegan butter. And I have 3 tablespoons of flour. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix this together, and it's going to make like a roux. It's going to make a roux at the bottom of the pan. And that's going to be the base of our gravy, basically. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to make gravy. It's actually really easy. Usually in like 5 or 10 minutes you can make gravy and have it be delicious. So yeah, I'm just going to mix it up, you know, the melted butter with the flour. Make a roux here. And then as soon as it's all well combined, I'm going to add the vegetable broth and then let it cook down a little bit. Alright, so if you notice now, you basically can't differentiate the butter and the flour. And so there's your roux. Oops. Alright, here comes the vegetable broth. I've got 2 cups of that. We're just going to mix it in. Start stirring slowly here. And if you notice, the vegetable broth itself starts to get cloudy, representing, and that's where your gravy is going to, ooh, it's not like that. That's where your gravy is going to start. So I'm just kind of scraping at the bottom of my pan just to make sure I get all the stuff from the bottom of it. And then as soon as I feel like I've gotten all of that, I'm going to switch to a whisk so that we get a nice smooth gravy here. And you basically just wait for it to thicken, which does not take very long. We're going to have another piece of asparagus while we're doing this. And there's one thing that that some of my friends requested was that at the end of the video, I haven't really been showing the plates once everything is plated and how it, you know, how it looks and everything. So we're definitely going to do that tonight. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, our gravy's looking pretty thick. We're going to season it now. So I'm going to take a spoon. We're going to try some of it. It's very meaty, for lack of a better word. It's very hearty. Little pepper. We're good on, I think the salt's perfect. And then also what we're adding here is half a teaspoon of thyme and half a teaspoon of sage. And we're going to whisk. Until all of the dry seasoning is incorporated into the gravy. You guys can see what is going on. It's all kind of separated still right now. So I'm just going to whisk it until it's all together. So this is a great meal if you ever host like a dinner party. In my opinion, it's like the perfect dinner party meal. It does take a while to make because you've got to cook the lentils. Those take about 20 minutes. Cooking the potatoes took about the same amount of time, but prepping the potatoes too, I had to rinse them really well, take the eyes out of the potatoes, and then you have to form the the Salisbury steaks themselves, and that gets really messy. If you have kids, that probably would be a lot of fun to do with kids. It gets super messy though. And if I do have any advice when you're making the lentils, when you're making the steaks themselves, roll it into a ball into your hand first, and then just kind of flatten it out. And then I don't know if you guys have ever made burgers at home, but I basically take my thumb and like go around the entire outside of it to kind of shape the outside so that it's all like stuck together so it doesn't fall apart on you. This gravy smells awesome. All right, we're gonna try it. That's so nice. Okay, now we are going to add the onions and mushrooms back into the pan. And the same thing with the lentil steaks themselves. Just to reheat everything. I'm only going to do 2 because that's all I plan on eating tonight. I'm just going to make sure that they end up getting completely submersed in the gravy itself. And you're technically supposed to cook it for like a minute, but basically just enough to where they start getting the flavor of the gravy. Oh my god, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so yummy. It's going to be really good. Okay. Big stuff. Flip these bad boys one more time. I think we're in business. I really do. Okay. So yeah, I will post this recipe in the comments. I've only done this, like I said, maybe this is only my second time doing this, so. That's it. I am supposed to let it thicken a little bit more, but it doesn't mention increasing the heat at all. Alright, well, we're going to give it another 2 minutes just to see if it thickens anymore. So yeah, in most cases I basically just Google these recipes. This one specifically tonight is from Rabbit and Wolves, simple yet exceptional vegan comfort food, which this definitely is, so win-win on that. Okay, we're going to start getting the plate ready. I'm really excited about this. It's going to be so good. I got these plates from Bed Bath & Beyond. I think they're the cutest. Is that where I got them? I might have gotten them from Walmart, actually. I think I got these ones from Walmart. These ones I got from Bed Bath & Beyond. My square flowery ones. Yeah, these were from Bed Bath & Beyond, which are like super cute. Okay, so start plating this bad boy. We're going to do some of this awesome grilled asparagus. I love asparagus. And as I had mentioned before, I'm going to do a little more. And as I mentioned before, we're just going to take a little bit of this lemon, and we're just going to, if you have lemon zest, even better. Lemon zest is amazing with this. Potatoes. Grab a nice big spoon for these. Alright, so that should be good on the... Oh my goodness, look at these potatoes! Oh my goodness. These potatoes look awesome. Can you guys see? Yeah, okay, cool. And now we're going to do the lentil steaks. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to, just because of space, move that over a little bit. Steak 1, steak 2, and we're gonna spoon this stuff over. We're gonna ladle it on actually, because this looks awesome. So let's get some of this onion and some of this mushroom. Oh yeah, oh yeah! Look, oh my goodness, look at that. The gravy. Yes. This looks like a really good time in my mouth. Let's put a little bit of gravy on the potatoes too, why not? And there you have it, guys. Lentil steaks with mushrooms and onions and mushroom and onion gravy, and then homemade mashed potatoes, red skin potatoes with a bunch of seasoning in them, some asparagus with cooked in oil, salt and pepper with a little bit of lemon juice on top of it, and there's dinner. So there you guys go. It probably took me about a good hour and a half to make everything. So yeah, definitely make sure that you set time aside if you do decide to make this specific meal. If you just do the lentil steaks by themselves, the recipe says it takes maybe 20 to 30 minutes. So, but I had the mashed potatoes and the asparagus. So yeah, that is tonight's meal. Thank you for chiming in for episode 8 of Plant-Based Kristin. Next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing, but every Wednesday I post a new episode. Let me know if you want tutorial videos of even little segments that I did tonight. Let me know if there's anything new that you want me to try. And thanks for joining me. It was fun cooking with you. I hope you guys have a good night. Bye.